Just when Donald Trump didn't think it could get much worse, oh, it absolutely did. Because amid the blowback to the least popular agenda in American history, Donald Trump's Epstein scandal, and the way that world leaders have made him look as pathetic as he is, Donald Trump is being hit with another brutal blow, and this time in the form of an election in which MAGA is turning against him, and he is freaking out on Truth Social because of it. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into how MAGA has turned against Donald Trump and the meltdown on Truth Social at 3 a.m., that it caused, I want to start with a breakdown of just how unpopular Donald Trump is, and that comes to us from Jen Psaki right here.
So in Pennsylvania, you had 205,000 more votes than you had voters. And the number's actually much greater than that now. That was as of a week ago. And this is a mathematical impossibility unless you want to say it's a total fraud.
That was one of the many election lies Donald Trump, of course, repeated on January 6th. Now, he said that as he was speaking to supporters, many of whom then went on to violently attack the U.S. Capitol, where members of Congress were certifying President Joe Biden's 2020 election win. But Trump did not make up that lie about Pennsylvania on his own, believe it or not. He got it from this woman, Heather Honey. Honey is a absolutely rabid election denier, a conspiracy theorist, and a protege of Cleta Mitchell, one of the lawyers who tried and failed to help Trump overturn the 2020 election results. Honey, in particular, misrepresented voter data to sell the idea that Pennsylvania somehow had more votes than voters, which was not at all true, not even close. But Trump treated it like it was completely true, and even cited it as a proof of election fraud in documents he released just last year. But Heather Honey did not just lie about Pennsylvania's election. She has led a variety of election conspiracy groups whose erroneous investigations fueled right-wing attacks on voting systems in other states, like Arizona and Georgia. Now it appears that Heather Honey, that same woman, has a brand new job. Yesterday, Democracy Docket was first to report that she has been appointed to be the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Election Integrity. You heard me right. A senior role in Trump's Department of Homeland Security that is supposed to primarily protect our elections from foreign interference, which is an ongoing threat, no matter who is president. Let that soak in for a second. A conspiracy theorist with absolutely zero knowledge of how to actually run elections, aside from spreading completely fabricated lies about the outcome in the past, is currently in charge of helping to oversee our election infrastructure. It's obvious, very obvious, Heather Honey isn't in this job because she has some sort of immaculate record of protecting voting systems against security threats. Obviously not. She's in this job because of her connection to Trump, who used her lies to his advantage, and who may now continue to do so in elections to come. In fact, her appointment comes as Trump has gutted the very federal programs designed to protect our elections from interference in the first place, including the DOJ program aimed at combating foreign influence campaigns. Trump also cut roughly 1,000 employees from the nation's top cybersecurity agency and put the director of that agency, Chris Krebs, under federal investigation. All of these questionable moves begin to make better sense when you consider Trump's political reality right now. His approval ratings are completely in the toilet, as we talk about a lot. His major legislative achievement, sort of, I guess, the big ugly bill, is deeply unpopular among Americans for good reason. Even his handling of the economy is hemorrhaging support.
Donald Trump is historically unpopular. This may be the low point of either of his presidencies, and that includes January 6th, which should just go to show how bad the big, beautiful, ugly pile of shit bill is and why we need to speak about it all the time. And it's not just that. It's the Epstein scandal that has completely taken over Donald Trump's presidency as well. There is too much to hit Trump and Republicans on for Democrats not to be calling them out all the time, because it is proven out to work, as we saw last night with a huge upset in Iowa that I want to get into and then see Donald Trump's response. Democrat wins Iowa Senate race, upending Republican supermajority. An upset victory by Caitlin Dray flips a seat formerly held by a Republican in the conservative-leaning district that Trump easily won in 2024. Caitlin Dray, D, flipped a vacant state Senate seat in Iowa's Sioux City area formerly held by a Republican, defeating Christopher Prosch after she won more than 55% of the ballot Tuesday in a low turnout race, according to a tally from the office of Iowa's Secretary of State. The election was held to replace State Senator Rocky DeWitt, who represented the state's 1st district until his death in June. Dray's upset victory erases the GOP's supermajority in the state Senate, which will now have 33 Republicans and 17 Democrats. A supermajority would have allowed the governor's nominees to be approved on a party-line vote, as a 2/3 majority is needed for confirmation. Dray's triumph in a voting district that lies inside Woodbury County, which Donald Trump easily won in 2024, also offers a glimpse into the mood of conservative-leaning districts ahead of next year's midterms. Because of this, Donald Trump threw a tantrum on a number of topics, but started off with, there is a sick rumor going around that fake news NBC extended the contract of one of the least talented late-night television hosts out there, Seth Meyers. He has no ratings, talent, or intelligence, and the personality of an insecure child. Oh, Jesus. So why would fake news NBC extend the dope's contract? I don't know, but I'll definitely be finding out. Trump continued, Republicans ban mail-in voting, President DJT, also writing, crime numbers are way down in D.C. Amazing progress being made. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. I wonder why Donald Trump would want to ban mail-in voting after seeing an election not go his way in a conservative district. Might it be because Donald Trump wants to put his thumb on the scale of all of our elections? Maybe it's not that mail-in voting is about voter fraud or keeping our elections secure, when Donald Trump is the one who has worked to undermine and attack our elections since 2016. Of course, this isn't about integrity. Of course, this isn't about safety or procedure. Donald Trump just wants it to be more difficult, not just to vote, but to vote against him. He knows who's voting with mail-in ballots. He knows who's showing up to certain precincts, or at least Stephen Miller and the rest of his goons in his administration do, because it doesn't really seem like Trump knows anything at this point. His brain is kind of mush. I don't think the staying up till 3 a.m. on posting ice cream eating and Big Mac consuming tantrums necessarily help the mental capacity, but go for it, I guess, bud. This is what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to attack, intimidate, and undermine. And what is funny, in fact, about Donald Trump going after mail-in voting is that it used to have a little bipartisan base of support. Now, Democrats, of course, disproportionately vote by mail because Republicans have been scared off of the idea, and that actually hurts Donald Trump in elections. He undermines himself. So I don't want to encourage him to keep attacking mail-in voting, considering that, no, I don't want him hurting our democracy. But yeah, Donald, keep taking votes away from yourself. He clearly did in Iowa. Folks out there seem to want to see the Epstein files. Folks in Iowa seem to not want their Medicaid cut. So things aren't looking too good for the midterms, bud. Because not only does Iowa have a very important gubernatorial election, but a very important Senate election. Donald Trump is going to be worried about all of that. And his cabinet's going to be doing everything they can to keep him distracted. Did you see this yesterday? I know we talked about the cabinet meeting, but I don't think enough attention was brought to the fact of just how North Korea-style praise Trump-a-thon it was. It was insane. Jen Psaki broke it down. You have to take a look.
Today, Trump had yet another completely bizarre meeting with his cabinet. And during that meeting, he claimed that, quote, a lot of people say, he loves to say that. That's one of his favorite things. Now, he said a lot of people say, in this case, that they want him to be a dictator.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. Most people say, if you call him a dictator, that if he stops crime, he can be whatever he wants. I'm not a dictator, by the way.
I mean, first of all, Donald Trump is not stopping crime. That's definitely not what he's doing. Second, if you have to keep telling people you aren't a dictator, maybe your actions are getting a little dictatory, I think. I mean, this is actually the second day in a row that Trump is claiming that, quote, a lot of people are saying they want a dictator. I don't know about you, but I don't know any of those people. In fact, I have to imagine that the group of people that want Trump to be a dictator is actually pretty small, even people who support him. But that must be hard for Trump to understand, because some of the people in that incredibly small group happen to work for him, it seems. I mean, Trump has surrounded himself with people who already treat him like a dictator. Now, I was going to try to describe for you just how sycophantic this cabinet meeting today was. How much it would make North Korean leader like Kim Jong-un or Russian President Putin blush. But my attempt to summarize this meeting, just no matter how hard I tried, just could simply not do it justice. And this is one of those things you really have to see for yourself.
As we approach Labor Day weekend here, this is just such a great opportunity really to recognize your leadership as a true champion for working people.
Everyone knows there's no stronger advocate for hardworking American families than you, sir.
Mr. President, it's pretty great to celebrate Labor Day with a builder who loves labor.
Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor, because you are really the transformational president of the American worker.
The single finest candidate since the Nobel Peace, this Nobel Award was ever talked about, to receive that award.
I mean, what did I tell you? I really couldn't summarize that. The man, according to his cabinet, is starting revolutions, saving whales, apparently, and apparently he's saving college football. I can't explain that one at all. How could the man not be given a Nobel Peace Prize? How could he not? I mean, either someone scripted all of that fawning praise for Trump, and maybe they did. I mean, the revolution lady, somebody scripted that for her. God bless. Or maybe they came up with it on the spot. Not sure which is worse. Doesn't matter really which is worse. But one after another, Trump's cabinet secretaries bloviated about how America has never been better, all thanks to him. Almost no real business of any kind was actually discussed, really at all. It was basically just a big old group hug for Trump's ego. So whether Trump is trying to become a dictator or not, he is certainly surrounding himself with people who treat him like one. I mean, that appears to be the key to getting a cabinet-level position in the first place, right? Not your qualifications or your experience or what you would even really do in the job, but how much you're willing to say or do whatever it is that Trump wants.
We talk a lot about Donald Trump's cognitive decline and point to moments of his memory being gone, slurring words. This is all you need to know. When he needs to be propped up like this, yeah, there's nothing in there. It is just complete mush. It's pudding. And we're going to keep calling it out on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.